We often say, "I'll do it tomorrow," as if tomorrow is guaranteed, as if time is standing still, waiting patiently for our permission. But time doesn't wait. It moves silently, steadily, without announcing itself. And most of us realize its value only when it has already slipped through our fingers. Time rarely announces itself. It does not knock on the door or remind us that it is passing. It moves quietly in the background while we are busy thinking, planning, worrying, or delaying. That is why time feels harmless when we waste it, but powerful when we lose it. People often underestimate time because it is invisible. You cannot hold it, save it, or store it for later. Yet every single life is shaped by how time is used, not by how much time is given. Two people may have the same 24 hours, but the difference in their lives comes from how they respect those hours. The impact of time is loud, even though its movement is silent. You may not hear it while scrolling endlessly, procrastinating, or postponing important decisions, but one day the noise becomes unbearable. Missed chances, unfinished dreams, and unrealized potential begin to speak. Time does not punish anyone directly. It simply reflects our choices back to us. If we invest it wisely, it returns growth, clarity, and confidence. If we ignore it, it returns regret and self-blame. Many people believe big success comes from big actions taken once in a while. In reality, it comes from small, consistent actions taken daily. Time magnifies whatever you feed it. A little discipline practiced every day becomes excellence over years. A little laziness repeated daily becomes failure over time. That is why time is so powerful. It does not judge the size of your action, only the consistency of it. People often say they are waiting for the right moment. But the truth is, time creates the right moment for those who act. Waiting does not stop time from moving forward. It only ensures that time moves forward without you. While you wait for motivation, time continues shaping habits. While you wait for confidence, time keeps reinforcing fear. The loudest impact of time is seen when people look back and realize how quietly it left. Suddenly, years feel like days, and days feel like seconds. What once felt like unlimited time now feels painfully limited. That realization does not come suddenly. It builds slowly, silently, moment by moment. Time is always speaking, but only those who listen early can change the direction of their lives. Laziness rarely looks dangerous in the beginning. It feels harmless, even comfortable. It shows up as rest, delay, or the decision to start later. That is why many people never recognize it as a problem. Laziness does not shout or force itself into your life, it whispers. It tells you that one more hour won't matter, that skipping today is acceptable, that you deserve a break before you've even begun. Over time, these small decisions begin shaping habits. And habits quietly shape destiny. Dreams are not destroyed in a single moment. They are slowly postponed. Every time effort is delayed, dreams are pushed a little further away. The intention remains strong, but action weakens. People often confuse having good intentions with making progress. They feel hopeful because they plan, but planning without execution becomes a form of self-deception. Laziness keeps dreams alive in the mind, but prevents them from becoming real in life. What makes laziness so dangerous is that it disguises itself as patience or comfort. A lazy person often believes they are waiting for the right mood, the right energy, or the right situation. But that moment rarely arrives on its own. Motivation follows action, not the other way around. By delaying effort, laziness creates a cycle where nothing moves forward, yet time continues moving ahead. Each delay has a cost, even if it is not immediately visible. Skills that are not practiced remain undeveloped. Opportunities that are not. Acted upon pass quietly. Confidence that is not built through action slowly fades. Laziness doesn't take things away instantly. It allows them to slip away unnoticed. One day, people look back and wonder where the years went, unaware that they were lost in small, repeated delays. The saddest part is that laziness often belongs to people with great potential. They know what they could become, but knowing is not enough. Potential without discipline remains unused talent. Laziness does not mean lack of ability, it means lack of urgency. And when urgency is missing, effort is always postponed. Over time, the gap between who a person is and who they could have been becomes wider, heavier, and harder to cross. Tomorrow feels innocent, even hopeful. It sounds like a promise we make to ourselves, a gentle way of saying that we care about our goals, but not right now. But slowly, tomorrow becomes a hiding place. It protects us from discomfort, effort, and responsibility. By shifting everything important to tomorrow, we avoid the pressure of action today. What we fail to notice is that tomorrow is never fixed. It keeps moving forward, always staying just out of reach. The comfort of tomorrow lies in its uncertainty. Because it hasn't arrived yet, it carries no risk. There is no chance of failure tomorrow, no fear of rejection, no struggle. Today demands effort, while tomorrow demands only intention. That is why the mind chooses tomorrow. It feels safe, but safety is often the enemy of growth. Growth begins where comfort ends, and tomorrow allows comfort to remain in control. Each time we choose tomorrow over today, we train our mind to delay. Procrastination becomes a habit, not because we are incapable, but because we are avoiding discomfort. Over time, this habit strengthens. The mind starts believing that delay is normal, acceptable, even wise. Slowly, urgency disappears. When urgency is gone, action becomes rare. Opportunities do not wait for perfect timing. Appear briefly and expect a response. When that response is delayed, opportunities quietly move on. People often say they missed their chance, but chances are rarely missed suddenly. They are missed gradually through repeated postponement. Tomorrow creates the illusion that opportunities are endless, when in reality, they are limited and fragile. The danger of tomorrow is not that it wastes time, but that it reshapes identity. A person who always delays begins to see themselves as someone who starts later, not someone who finishes. Confidence weakens because confidence is built through action. Self-trust fades because promises to oneself are repeatedly broken. Tomorrow becomes a habit, then a lifestyle. And by the time realization arrives, today has already turned into yesterday many times over. Most people believe that life is shaped by big moments and major decisions. But in reality, it is shaped by the small things we do every day. The habits we follow when no one is watching. The choices we make in ordinary moments. The discipline we practice in routine situations slowly build the foundation of our future. A single day may not seem important, but when repeated over years, it becomes a lifetime. Small actions may look insignificant, yet they carry the power to decide long-term success or failure. Daily actions work like compound interest. A small effort invested consistently grows into something meaningful over time. Reading a few pages every day may feel slow, but it builds knowledge. Practicing a skill for a short time daily may feel ordinary, but it builds mastery. On the other hand, small negative habits also compound. Skipping effort today, ignoring responsibilities, or choosing comfort repeatedly creates patterns that weaken growth. Time does not distinguish between good or bad actions. It simply multiplies whatever is repeated. People often wait for motivation to take big steps, but life rarely changes through sudden transformation. it changes through consistency. Small daily actions require less motivation but more commitment. They demand showing up even when enthusiasm is low. That commitment slowly reshapes identity. A person who acts daily, even in small ways, begins to see themselves as disciplined, reliable, and capable. That belief strengthens effort further, creating a cycle of progress. The challenge with small actions is that their results are invisible at first. This invisibility causes many people to quit early. They underestimate the power of repetition and overestimate the power of quick results. But growth is often silent in the beginning. It takes patience to trust the process when nothing seems to be changing. Those who continue despite slow progress eventually see a breakthrough, not because of one big action, but because of hundreds of small ones. Every day offers a choice between short-term comfort and long-term growth. Small actions may feel uncomfortable in the moment, but they prevent bigger discomfort later. Neglecting small responsibilities today creates heavy consequences tomorrow. A lifetime is not built in one decision, but in thousands of small decisions made consistently, quietly, and often unnoticed. Time once gone cannot be reclaimed, no matter how deeply we regret losing it. People often realize this truth only after years have passed, when moments they thought were ordinary become memories they wish they could relive. Lost time does not return to offer second chances. It leaves behind reminders of what could have been done differently, what could have been started earlier, and what could have been protected with more awareness. This realization can be painful, but it also carries a quiet lesson for those willing to listen. Many people believe they can compensate for lost time by working harder later. While effort is valuable, it cannot restore moments that are already gone. Childhood cannot be replayed. Opportunities missed cannot be lived again in the same form, and relationship neglected cannot always be repaired. Time teaches this truth not through words, but through experience. The lesson is often learned late, when consequences have already formed. Regret is one of the strongest emotions created by lost time. It does not appear suddenly. It grows slowly, shaped by repeated delays and ignored priorities. People rarely regret resting when they needed it, but they often regret the chance they did not take, the discipline they avoided, and the courage they postponed. Lost time becomes a silent mirror, reflecting not failure, but neglect. Lessons remain where time is lost. These lessons are meant to awaken awareness, not create guilt. They remind us that life is fragile and moments are limited. Those who understand this begin to value the present more deeply. They stop assuming that tomorrow will fix everything. They become more intentional with their actions, more careful with their choices, and more respectful of each passing hour. The purpose of learning from lost time is not to live in the past, but to protect the future. Awareness transforms regret into wisdom. When people truly understand that time never returns, they stop wasting it casually. They begin to see every day as an opportunity to act with clarity. Lost time may never come back, but the lessons it leaves behind can guide every step forward. Discipline is often misunderstood as restriction, but in reality, it is protection. It protects your future from the mistakes of the present. Many people avoid discipline because it feels uncomfortable, demanding, and tiring. What they don't realize is that the discomfort of discipline is temporary, while the pain of regret lasts much longer. Choosing discipline today is like choosing a small controlled difficulty instead of facing a large uncontrolled suffering later. Regret is rarely caused by doing too much. It is usually caused by not doing enough when it mattered. People regret not starting earlier, not staying consistent, not taking responsibility when they had the chance. These regrets are not born in one moment. They are formed through repeated neglect of discipline. Skipping effort today may feel harmless, but over time, it accumulates into missed goals and lost confidence. Discipline creates structure in life. It removes confusion by turning decisions into habits. When actions are disciplined, energy is not wasted on constant debate. The mind becomes calmer because it knows what needs to be done. This clarity prevents emotional decisions that often lead to regret. Discipline trains the mind to act based on values, not moods. The absence of discipline leaves life open to chance. Without discipline, days are controlled by impulses, distractions, and comfort. This lack of direction leads to inconsistency, and inconsistency leads to disappointment. Regret often appears when people realize they allowed temporary feelings to control permanent outcomes. Discipline prevents this by keeping actions aligned with long-term goals. Discipline does not demand perfection. It demands commitment. Small disciplined actions practiced daily build strength, confidence, and self-respect. Each disciplined choice reinforces the belief that you can trust yourself. This self-trust is powerful because it reduces fear of the future. When discipline becomes a habit, regret loses its power. Life becomes more intentional, more focused, and more meaningful. So as you reflect on this story and on your own life, remember that time is not asking for perfection, only for sincerity.